Welcome to Talking Sharks. 21 games, 12 wins and 56 points in the Premiership, but Sale Sharks sat 6th in the table before the last game against Northampton with the top 4 finish not in their hands. They needed the 4 tries, they needed the 5 points and other teams to slip up on the last Saturday of the season.
Back, Ben. To ask us to get the 5 points and to ask the other teams to slip up, I think is quite difficult.
I think they'll win today, but I don't think they'll make top 4.
Why is that?
I don't think the other sides are going to lose.
I think they might do it. I think they might get 5 points, but I think it won't be enough.
Real party atmosphere, and we give the fans what they wanted really. It was an end-to-end game, and we just appreciate it.
Emotionally, it's quite tough because a lot of the boys are going, and it'll be difficult next year. But whatever, new boys are coming as well, and so it'll be exciting. But it's been a pleasure and an absolute honour to play with those boys that are living today.
One hugely emotional day for you. You guys did all you could, but just not to be in the end.
Yeah, that's what we said. We need to give everything. That's how we played the whole year. That's the flag of this team, Put everything on the pitch and give yourself for the team, work for the team.
The actual performance today and the result was good, and it was needed because it still sticks in our mind. The game against London Irish, the last game of the season last year, is really disappointing, and the fans deserve a good day out, a sunny Saturday afternoon game, and the right result. And a lap of honour at the end from the players leaving is great, and the crowd responded really well. And that today is a very strange feeling. It's a good win, but a bit despondent in the final whistle to find the results of the other teams have not gone for us.
Has it sunk in yet that you're never going to play here in a Sale shirt again?
But, we never know. We never know. I spoke with Brian, and he said, "Oh, see you in 3 or 4 years." I said, "Why not? I am 31, so maybe never say never." So we never know.
What a day for you! I can't believe Barry Stewart's never going to play rugby again.
Yeah, I know. It's a bit weird. It was lovely to come back to Edgeley Park to finish my career off here, or certainly Premiership career. There might be the odd game in these last couple of weeks, if we're lucky enough to progress on Friday. But I think it was a real fitting end. I've loved every minute of playing for Sale. Being a Shark or former Shark is something I'm immensely proud of, and to get one last hurrah against the Sharks in front of a great Sale crowd, incredibly appreciative and very supportive at the end. That was very nice. It's something I'll remember for a very long time to come.
I take it that Sale Sharks is always going to have a place in here inside your heart. Maybe one day you come back, but some great times, eh?
Big time. I had amazing 3 years, really big time, and it was great. I really enjoyed. It went the other way. I thought, but right now I'm going to enjoy these last weeks here, and it was an amazing 3 years for me. I'm a very happy man.
There's a lot of players that started today that won't be here next year, and the easiest thing for those guys is to do 2 weeks ago is to throw it in. And today was a big ask and a long shot, a real long shot to be top 4. But that come out here and put a performance in for the right reasons. And my speech this morning wasn't about being in the top 4. It was about performing for the home support that we let down 12 months ago, and performing for each other. You know, the last chance to play at Edgeley Park as a group for those guys in there, friends, colleagues, and friends they'll keep forever, I'm sure.
A quick message for the fans?
I hope keep going like that and bring more friends and push behind the team, and I am sure Sale can become again the English champion, definitely.
Thank you very, very much for the support. I felt like a son. Really, thank you very much.
And maybe back one day.
Who knows? I'm really enjoying my place, my rugby here, so who knows?
So they did all they could, but it just wasn't to be here at Edgeley Park. After the break, I'm joined by a man whose points have been so crucial this season. We'll see you on the other side. So welcome back to Talking Sharks, and welcome back to Edgeley Park, where the Sharks fans are turning their attentions to next season. This week I needed to get my confidence back after a disgraceful display at golf. I needed a bigger tee and a bigger ball, and the help of Charlie Hodgson. Mr. Hodgson, now listen, I want you to take me through a bit of kicking, bit of goal kicking. Goal kickers are strange fellas, aren't they? Wouldn't you say?
I don't know about being strange.
You've got little bits and pieces that have to be right on the day. This, for example, this is what we'll talk about first. This is your particular tee?
This is my particular tee that I use. Obviously people tend to use sand, people use, like Luke McCarthy uses a different one, it's a lot higher. So you can slant the ball. Lee Thomas and Nick McLeod, they both use different tees. Probably they're both the same, but yeah. So they can slant the ball forward.
Preparation for when you're kicking, I find fascinating, because we see some insane, strange things when people stand up. Do the one that they do, the traditional Johnny Wilkinson one for us.
That's the old left foot one with the hands together.
That just looks ridiculous.
Well,
what's that about?
I think yeah, again, it's personal preference on what they want. I don't know the reasoning behind it, to be honest with you. I think a lot of it is just to centre your focus on everything and pulling everything together.
Yeah.
I don't know. Andy Good, he taps his hands together, plays a few golf shots, I think, and yeah, I don't know. I think, like I say, it's just, I don't know where it's all come from. I don't know why he started it.
What do you do?
I just know I have a usual routine of walking away from the ball and approaching the ball, but I kind of just stand there and swing my arms a bit just to sort of keep me relaxed. I think if you start to tense up a bit, then you lose your technique, just like you would do with a golf swing.
Are you a practice freak?
I wouldn't say I was a freak at practice, to be honest with you. I think
you got it. It's a skill. You got to keep topping up, isn't it?
Yeah, you can't just leave it alone. You can't just expect to turn up at the weekend and do it. It's something that you do bits and bobs during the week after training, just to make sure that you're comfortable and you're confident with what's going on. So
we're going to do a bit of kicking here. This 22 to the post is a bit smaller than Edgeley, is it?
No, they should be around the same size.
Is it?
Really. About the same, yeah. They're about the same. You don't
it's an easy job, isn't it?
But it's quite easy, isn't it? That's the heaviest point on the ball, where the valve is. Only on these balls, for some reason, that's the heaviest point on the ball. So if you hit that through the middle of it, that tends to fly the best.
So valve pointing forward.
So it doesn't matter if valve pointing forwards or backwards, but that sort of line is your heaviest part. So if you can hit that straight enough through, that's the way it's going to go.
And you kick out of hands in that theory as well, do you?
Only when I'm doing end over end. Yeah, of course. When you're kicking it with a spiral, you don't know where the valve is, but if you're kicking it out of hand.
So the seam's always facing forward for me, or facing towards the target where I'm going towards.
And I have a slight lean on the ball. I think there's a tendency sometimes when people kick the ball is to, once they kick with their leg and they come around the corner, kick it like a football, so people try and put the spin on it.
And you see it going
and you see it curling from right to left. The whole point of having the angle on the ball is to straighten that flight. To stop that flight is to stop the flight going from right to left. So if it does start to go, the actual flight in the air actually straightens itself once you've hit the ball.
So an ideal kick in front of goal, you'd see the ball
end
top
over
of
end.
each other.
Yeah, and never end.
Okay, see what you got.
Easy. So if you see where I've ended up, I've come way past the tee. Never be extremes like in a game, but this is just all. It's just the way I've sort of been taught is that obviously, the more you do something, the more of a habit it becomes. So you don't really think about it too much. So when you obviously do it in a game, it's more natural for you to get through the ball and end up past the tee. You put the ball on the tee, face it with the seam facing toward the target, and with your foot position as well as you approach it. You don't want to kick it. You want to kick it with it like that. You want to be pointing your foot as you're coming towards the ball.
So with your step backwards,
so usually
you take 3 steps back?
I take 4 back.
4 back. Yeah.
And then I can't remember myself actually. 4 left. It's 1, 2, 3, and then slightly, and then so you bring yourself into an angle. It's more or less. I guess if you give yourself an angle from there,
yeah.
45 degrees.
Okay.
It's simple.
I'm going to put a bit of this in it.
Okay.
Well.
Have you kicked before?
Never.
Right. Nice. Went over.
28 years old now, born in Halifax. Firstly, what was it like growing up in Halifax? Because I have an image of the place. It says rugby league.
Definitely, yeah. It's rugby league territory, and spent a lot of time watching the league team there. Every Sunday we used to travel around the north and go and watch them play. Obviously it's a shame now they're not in the Super League. I only played Union because I was at Union playing school, but all the rest of the time was watching league. It was a good rugby school actually at the time. Well, when I was sort of growing up, when I was 12, 13, there were quite a few guys that went on to play England schools, and then from then there was sort of a production line through the school. The Saturdays were spent playing. Saturday afternoons were spent playing Union. Sunday morning playing Union, and Sunday afternoon going to watch a league team. Had
you developed that you wanted to be a fly half? You wanted to be a kicker?
I don't think so. I think it was just something that came naturally to me, really. My first ever game was at prop.
Really?
Yeah. I quickly moved away from that. Moved to centre. Moved to inside centre, and from there kind of went into the fly half position around 12, 13 when I started at Bradford.
So you could have been in the front row with Effian.
Could have been. Lucky at the size of me now, there's no chance, is there?
So you went off to Durham University, and obviously you're encouraged, with that to be playing sports. So you were playing rugby for the uni.
I played rugby for the uni. I mean, I was only at Durham for a year, but fortunately, funnily enough, Durham asked me to go up the year before when I was still at school to go and play in a development side for them, because I had an idea that I was going to go there, obviously depending on A-level results. And I just went up and impressed them, and obviously from there joined the first team straight away. So I was very lucky, really.
Your Sale Sharks debut, your debut was 2000.
Yeah.
Just talk us through that period from uni, how it came to Sale, James Wade's involvement, because everyone has a different one.
Well, as I was at uni, I was still playing for Yorkshire under-20s then, and I had a game. I think it might have been against Lancashire at Old Winnings or something, and I think James was watching the scrum half that I was playing with. I don't think he knew about me before then, and from then, sort of, he obviously seen me play well in that game, and from then he just asked me to come to Sale for the summer, just for pre-season, and I really only thought of it as that, as at the time, building a relationship with a Premiership club, all being well, finished in the degree, and then coming back, hopefully having still playing well and hopefully joining a club. But things went well in that summer. At the time, Nicky Little, the fly half, was away with Fiji, so it gave me an opportunity to play pre-season games, and asked me to sign a contract in the August, and I haven't looked back since.
This one seemed to work last time.
I know, yeah. Well, the first one did as well. Take your pick. Say a prayer or swing your arm.
Not enough power.
You were relying purely on leg power then.
I didn't go through the ball, did I?
You've ended up here. You've not moved since you've hit, and you kicked it. That was where your tee was.
Yeah.
You've ended up here, almost behind the ball. So like I say, you're always relying on your leg to do the work.
So I need to use my body, my upper body more.
Ideally, you need to finish sort of about here.
Wow. The Hodgson one didn't work for me, so I'm going to go
Okay,
with
go back to Wilkinson style.
Johnny.
He's more pronounced nowadays. He started off like that, but he's got even worse. He's almost squatting.
Oh.
It's much better. See, but if obviously you end up over there, but initially once you'd hit the ball, you were straight through there. So that's why obviously the ball went straight towards the post, which is what you wanted to do.
So I had the line,
just lacked a bit of power.
In my little legs,
little chicken legs.
What were your early days and memories like with England, within the England camp, and the reaction you got from the press and so on?
Well, walking into the hotel first of all was quite daunting, because of course you see these guys. I've seen these guys playing on TV for a long period of time, like Sir Jason Leonard, Martin Johnson, Delali O'Neill back. I think I remember walking into like there's a little study place. I was with Alex Sanderson at the time, and I didn't say anything to anybody, but Alex walked in and said, I think there was maybe Graham Rowntree and Neil Back and maybe a couple of other Leicester players who walked in. Alex Sanderson said hello and didn't get a response from anybody. So I just thought, oh, this is going to be interesting.
From what I know, I genuinely believe you're one of the best number 10s in the world. England fans, some of them seem to think otherwise and see you as a confident player. What are your thoughts? Does that annoy you that they think that?
I think at the end of the day, people have their opinions, don't they? And it's just you have to accept that. And whether the thing that means most to me, I suppose, is whether the coaches think you're good enough to be there in the first place. And if they do that, then brilliant. And of course, if they don't, then you just have to keep working hard at your club and play well for your club. So people's opinions of whether they think I'm good enough to play for England, whether I'm a confidence player, doesn't affect me at all, really.
Obviously, the last time you've played for them since has been on the tour of New Zealand, which was a controversial tour in itself, but not one that you'll remember fondly.
No, it wasn't a great trip. But I kind of I've the way England has been with me, I've had good times and bad times, and that's just one of the bad times, and I'm hoping there'll be some good times to come.
Does it make you sick always being compared to Johnny Wilkinson? Because when you first came on the scene at a young age, obviously you were playing with him in the same team sometimes at centre. But the fact that everyone said, "Oh, he's not Johnny," England fans, "Oh, he's not our Johnny." I'm
nothing like him as a player. That's the one thing. I suppose you don't mind being compared with players because you're going for the same position. But when you start talking about what he does something and I do something completely different. It doesn't really interest me, and in that sense it is frustrating, I suppose, because he's renowned for his kicking, and I suppose I'm not. So,
but you've got more to, arguably more to your game than he has aside from kicking.
I don't know. I think we're just different players. He's strong defensively, whereas I'm not that strong defensively, and my attacking game is the strongest point of my game. So, I work around my weaknesses and work to my strengths, but. Like I say, we're very different in our styles of play and our approach at the way we play. So I don't really see why you can compare the two of us.
You're very modest in that sense, but when you look at Twickenham in the crowd there, they've at times been extremely rude to you, extremely harsh on you. They've got on your back at Twickenham. You've said it before. You've learned to deal with it as a professional. You shrug it off. But there's been times where it's just got too much. I
guess it's probably not just me as well. I've been there since, having not played and sat in the crowd, and you listen to comments that people come out with. It's just ridiculous. I always maintain that I'll only listen to people who mean something to me, and listen to criticism from coaches and from players around, but not from somebody who's sat in the crowd. And admittedly, people have their opinions, but if they've not been there and done that at that level, then I don't understand how they can have the balls to abuse you to your face or in the crowd like that, when really obviously they might have seen a lot of rugby, but playing at a level is a different thing. Still an ambition to play for England, still an ambition to be involved in the World Cup, still an ambition to be on the British Lions tour again. I'm only 28, I've still got a few years left in me yet, you never know what's going to happen.
Would you say you're a bit of a drop goal specialist?
I don't know about that, but it's quite a crucial part of the game nowadays, really, and particularly with it being 3 points. It's a good way to sort of build your score, and if it is close, it can win you games as well, like it did at the beginning of the season against Saracens. The approach, I guess, to hitting the ball is similar to the approach you would have hitting the ball off the floor. That 45-degree angle we're talking about. It's exactly the same. You don't want to stand square on and try and kick it with your toes. So same again, you bring yourself slightly to an angle, and the drop of the ball just has to drop and just drop back up in the air again. Just trying to hit the bottom third of the ball, so that part of the ball there, anywhere around there. Doesn't matter where it is, because it's always such a snapshot thing that you just take it as the ball comes to you. The ones I usually do tend to be in and around this area. Yeah.
So you need a good pass, of course, when you come out.
Of course you do, yeah, you rely on that.
Shall I give you a pass?
You can if you like. Maybe. Perfect.
Straight as an arrow. Game situation.
You caught it, like I say, you caught it like that and went, obviously that's a good drop, but and then you start swinging. Just swing your leg and see what happens.
Here we go. Better than the first one.
Better than the first one. Ready?
Yeah. Really take my time now.
Yes!
Good coaching.
Well done. Shame it took 5.
Well, we'll make it look like one. You've come through your injuries, fingers crossed. Johnny Wilkinson perhaps hasn't, but sweet in many ways, in a few ways, that you took his record against Newcastle this year. I think you went on to 1,492 points at the time. What a day that was for you.
I think it was only Swanee that mentioned it to me. He mentioned it to me just leading up to the game, actually. But yeah, it's a massive achievement for me, and like I say, I've still got a bit of rugby to go in me yet, so it's not something that I'm going to give up lightly. And obviously people are going to have to play a fair bit of rugby in the Premiership if they want to overtake that record. So yeah, it's a good thing to have, and hopefully I can hold on to it for a bit longer.
And you've got so much on your hands because obviously you married not long ago, Daisy, 2007 I think it was. Little kid Henry. I guess family, things like that, it puts it in perspective, doesn't it? Especially when Henry arrived on the scene, it puts a lot of things that you've done in your career in perspective.
Of course it does, yeah. That's one of the best days of my life, seeing Henry born. So it's yeah, like you say, it definitely puts things in perspective. Perhaps when games don't go too well, you can go home and you can see a baby who'll be smiling at you, and he doesn't have a clue what you do. He's none the wiser. Although his favourite toy is a rugby ball, funnily enough. But I was
going to say, has he got any boots yet? Has he got a tee?
He's got a little ball that he loves.
Yeah.
He seems to smile every time he sees it. So, funnily enough, he can just about catch a ball, which I find unbelievable for a 1-year-old. But obviously, I might say that because I'm a biased parent. But yeah, it's great. It's really good.
So that's it for this week for Talking Sharks, but make sure you join us next week because we've got a sit-down interview with the main man, Kingsley Jones, on what lies ahead for Sale Sharks. The story from here at Edgeley Park, close but no cigar. See ya.
Comes Wigglesworth, Hodgson, oh look at this space, Ripple, extra man, try for Rabbit, and what a beauty it is.
Sale Sharks already were getting the ascendancy in the scrum from the first half. It's all so easy. Juan Martin Fernandez Lobé.
Pression, ballon difficile à négocier. Attention, là il y a peut-être un coup à jouer. Oh, c'est bien fait. Une fois, deux fois, il va aller à l'essai. Superbe essai au bout pour l'international.
Attention à néo-zélandais.
Ouais, Luc McAllister, l'international néo-zélandais.
All. This is the one that Sale set out to win this season. Munster